What's up, y'all? It's your man, That Dude, bringing you guys another video. Panthers versus Vikings. This is a battle of two bad teams. First off, it does appear that Bryce Young is going to play. He has been a full participant in practice this week. But that is really the only good news there is for the Panthers, because even though the Vikings are a bad team, their defense is atrocious. I don't expect the Panthers to win this game. Where the Vikings are going to be strong, I expect the Panthers to be weak, and that is going to be the Panthers' pass defense. The Panthers are already missing J.C. Horn. Xavier Woods is also going to be out for a few weeks. Frankie Louvu is expected to play, but he's going to be playing hurt. So I expect the Panthers' pass rush to be compromised, partially because Frankie Louvu is one of the Panthers' better pass rushers, and he will play, or is expected to play, but he's not going to be 100%. So that affects the pass rush. And then the pass defense, when you're down J.C. Horn and down Xavier Woods, two starting defensive backs on a team that wasn't exactly deep at defensive back, is not a good combination to go against one of the more prolific passing attacks in the NFL. Say what you want about the Vikings. Again, they're not a good team. And say what you want about Kirk Cousins. I have plenty of criticisms of Kirk Cousins. The Vikings passing attack is one of the best in the league. That combination of Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson is lethal. They have Addison, who's now pitching in, so they have a solid number 2 receiver, it seems. The Vikings can move the ball. They can put up points. Their problem is they can't stop anyone. So I do expect this game to be somewhat competitive. I think the Panthers offense should fare pretty well against the Vikings defense. I think this is a pretty good game for Bryce Young to come back and play, given that the Vikings defense is not good. Now, while the Vikings defense is not good, they do have Danielle Hunter, who is one of the best defensive ends in the NFL, one of the more underrated and least talked about defensive ends, but the guy is really good. Danielle Hunter is a beast. That is not a positive thing for the Panthers. Him going against Icky or Moton, I forget what side of the line that Danielle Hunter plays on. I believe he plays on the right side of the defensive line, which will make him going against Icky the majority of the game. That is not a matchup that I think favors the Panthers. But hopefully Bryce Young can get rid of the ball. The Vikings pass defense is not good, so maybe the Panthers, lackluster receivers can get open quickly, and Bryce Young doesn't have to hold the ball, because if he does, it's not going to be pretty if Danielle Hunter can get in that backfield. He's going to get in that backfield at least a few times. Whether or not he gets some sacks, we'll see. But I do expect Hunter to get a fair amount of pressure in this game, because Danielle Hunter is that good. Now, hopefully the Panthers' number 1 defensive end, their star defensive player, Brian Burns, can also take over this game and help him out and maybe cause Kirk Cousins, some headaches and stay in the backfield on Kirk Cousins and, not allow Justin Jefferson and Addison to get deep on the Panthers that often. That is, I think, the Panthers' best hope for containing this Vikings offense. But I do expect the Panthers, if they want to be able to win this game, they're going to have to score more than 28 points, I believe. Like the Vikings, I have a hard time seeing the Vikings scoring less than 4 touchdowns, less than 28 points. So if the Panthers want to win this, they might have to score 30 plus points to win this game. And from what I've seen of this offense so far this season, I don't think they're going to be capable of doing that. I do think they can get into the 20s, but I don't think this team is just built to win a shootout, which is what I think this game might be, just given that both defenses right now aren't very good. The Panthers do have the better defense when everybody's healthy, but when you're down 2 starting defensive backs on a team that already was not deep at DB, you're down Shaq Thompson. I forgot to mention him. Your best linebacker, or your best interior linebacker. Even though Kama Grugier-Hill has filled in pretty well, he's still not Shaq Thompson. He's not good at diagnosing plays and getting everyone lined up like Shaq Thompson is at this point in his career. So that is also going to be a detriment for the Panthers. I just don't see the Panthers winning this game, unfortunately. I wish I could pick them to beat the Vikings, because the Vikings are also bad. They're 0-3. Neither of these teams are good, but I do think the Vikings are a little better. But I expect the Panthers to be competitive. I think they'll hang in this game. I think it'll be decently close. I think Bryce Young is going to have his first game where he throws for over 200 yards, which is going to be a pretty big milestone for him, given that he has not done that yet. So I expect Bryce Young to have a pretty good game. I wish I could say the Panthers should lean on their run game for this, but I don't think they're going to be able to. I expect the Vikings to come out and put up to get a pretty decent lead early in the game, maybe 10 or 14 points, which is going to cause the Panthers to have to abandon the run to a certain extent and have to play from behind and throw the ball out to play catch up. Like if the Panthers can establish a run game early and hold the ball, keep Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson off the field and run the clock and do it that way, that would be great. But I just don't think they're going to be able to. I think when the Vikings offense does go on the field, they're going to put up points. I don't think the Panthers, with the way their run game has been the past few weeks, is built to play that control the clock, keep the ball, just run it down your throat kind of offense. Maybe we'll see something different this week. I just haven't seen it so far this year, so I don't expect to see it against the Vikings. The Panthers, if they win this game, I believe is going to have to be through Bryce Young and through the air and with their receiving core. And I just don't think they're built to do that. I hope I'm wrong. Again, when I pick the Panthers to not win, like when I expect them to lose, that is not me like wishing they lose. I am very hopeful and I wish that they win. I just don't see it happening this week, which again pains me to say because the Vikings are not good. The Vikings are not a good team, but they are strong where the Panthers are weak in this particular game, and that is the Vikings passing attack going against the Panthers pass defense. I don't expect that to be a good matchup for the Panthers. Hopefully, the offense can stay competitive. If they do manage to establish the run game, I don't think it'll be with Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders has been very lackluster this season. Hopefully, the Panthers coaches have learned their lesson and decided to give Chuba Hubbard some more carries in this game. I don't know why the past 2 weeks, it has irked me so much the past couple of weeks that Chuba Hubbard has barely gotten any carries, even though in the first game of the season, he proved himself to be the more effective running back. And yet, the Panthers coaches still give Miles Sanders the majority of the carries. Now, it's more egregious than just giving Miles Sanders the majority of the carries. They've barely given Chuba Hubbard any carries at all. He carried the ball once against Seattle, and I want to say, maybe 2 or 3 times against the Saints. It's not a good distribution of carries, given how the first game of the season played out. So if they can establish a run, I don't believe it's going to be with Miles Sanders. It's going to be with Chuba Hubbard. If the coaches decide to give him a good amount of carries, which they just haven't shown a willingness to do for some reason. So it's just another reason to not expect the Panthers to win this game. I really wish I could find something positive to point to for the Panthers in this game. The only positives really are that Bryce Young is going to come back. He should be healthy, and he is going against a weak pass defense. So he should get a game where he can finally build some timing with his receivers, complete a fair amount of passes, gain a fair amount of yards through the air. I expect him to have his first game of over 200 yards passing. So that should be a positive takeaway. Hopefully the fans at least will have something to see from Bryce Young, where we have something to point to and go, okay, that's why that guy was taken number 1 overall. Like, give the fans something to talk about in that aspect. But as far as the Panthers winning, I just don't see it. I think the Vikings win this one. I'm going to say 35-24. That's the score I think the Vikings will win by. Which the Panthers putting up 24 points will be great. I think Bryce Young throws for multiple touchdowns, maybe his first multiple touchdown game. Throws for over 200 yards. Has a fair amount of completions. And we finally get some flashes of why this guy was taken number 1 overall. But I don't think it's going to come in a win. That's all I have for you on this one, guys. If you enjoyed this video, go hit that thumbs up. If you're so inclined, subscribe and leave a comment. I respond to just about everything. And I'll see you guys in the next one.